What up? What up? What up, world? Was that good?
Hey, we're here. Hey, you
We're
heard
here.
it live and direct. And try it. Hey, you've been wanting to do that, right?
I've been trying. Was that pretty good? Did I
I
nail
think
it?
you nailed
Or
it.
I don't
Let's
know.
talk about it during the intro.
That's a quick
And
intro.
I have one job. That's all I get
I
to
took
do.
it from you. Go ahead. You do it. Let's do the real intro now.
I don't want
You
to do
start
it,
the
dude. My
show.
sleeves are already rolled up. Let's
There's
get
no
to
way.
the show.
Hold on. Time out. I don't think our viewers or listeners are satisfied with that. What up? What up? What up, world?
What up? What up? What up, world? You know what it is. Get Right Network. Anthony's here. He's taking my job. Dustin, I'm going to be, I guess, somewhat hosting this. I'm going to co-host this tonight. We're co-hosting. Maybe I'm co-hosting. He's hosting. We don't know. 12-team Superflex PPR Redraft. Such a mouthful.
Friday Night Mocks, baby. It's where it's at.
We already hit the intro, so we don't. Do I do that again, or
we're gonna hit another intro because
double intro?
I don't think.
First time ever.
Second time ever.
I was okay. If you knew that was second time ever, like I would gift card you $20.
Trivia.
You know what I'm gonna do? All right, here's what I'm gonna do, and I actually just made this up in my head right now.
I love these things. Go ahead.
If you're listening on YouTube, I'm gonna jump. Like you guys know how we normally do this. We go through every team, FF season, right? Who I gave an amazing grade last time. Think all Cowboys. Talk about that. Whoever Anthony's best grade is tonight, it's only $20. I'm gonna toss you Cash App, Venmo. Let me know your Cash App or Venmo on YouTube. You have to subscribe to us. You have to be on our Twitter or either or. Let me know that you heard this. If you got best draft from Anthony tonight, and I trust you, you're a noble man.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
20. Hey, it happened.
Let's hope he drafted.
Random.
Hey,
I don't know. Hey, random. We got.
Hey, I like it.
OGs
I didn't know about this. I'm glad it's not my $20.
Dude, that's all on the fly.
I like
on the
it.
fly.
Let's
it
go.
Happens.
Let's go.
All right. So do we jump straight to it? No, let's wait. So you got to watch the whole episode. I was going to say just jump straight to it.
This is going to be tough, and I already
grade.
have my grades here. I'll tell you right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people who have A's. No A pluses. One of those is an A minus. So this is going to be very interesting.
So it's out of 5 people.
You're going to end up, yes. So what's going to happen is you're going to end up deciding who gets the $20 because I have 5 people that have A's.
You give me a top 3 and I'll do it. That's my money.
All right,
I can't be wrong.
This is what we do. Get right fantasy,
That's not
baby.
how it's
Let's
supposed
go.
to work. You're
it's going to be tough.
A clear winner.
You didn't tell me, man. This is what happened when things get on the fly. So here we go. Maybe I'll adjust as we go on the fly. We'll see.
You're eliminated, and you took Dak. You took a lot of my favorite guys right there. So I'm gonna eliminate you, obviously, out of this.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't even grade myself. I didn't.
Because when I seen Dak, I looked down. I was like, I'm buying that. Never mind. I seen the logo, and I changed my mind. Okay. All right. Hey, it's gonna be fun. Let's jump right into it. FF season. Where are we at?
Well, hey, FF season. Good thing you got in this draft. We're starting the draft off with our first A. Our first A draft. And I know you've been talking about this
right now.
out of the gate because to me, this is a solid team, man. He comes up, he gets the QB1. He gets a nice RB1, a potential workhorse guy there. Gets definitely a wide receiver 1. Gets a nice QB2 like we talked about with Mayfield. I think he's right there in that range. Follows that up with Ridley, which is a bona fide wide receiver 2, especially in PPR. We all know my love for Mostert, so you're going to score points, with me there. And then has nice running. Over. Exactly. And then you're going to have Fournette. I'm not big on Johnson, but again, down here, I'm in that range. And then Michael Carter, I know you love that. So again, 5 running backs
so big
on this
on
team.
Johnson, guys. That's why.
I see what you did there. And then again, as far as knowing he has two solid wide receivers, kind of like we talked about on our last episode, when you have those two solid wide receivers, why waste any of those middle picks on other wide receivers? He got two great backups here in Landry and Brown, for where he got them as far as their, purpose on that team. So to me, I think he executed it very well, which is why he got an A.
Just an A, not an A plus.
Not
so
an A
don't
plus.
blame me. Don't blame me. It's not an A plus. I try to give this to Anthony to pick. We're going to the next one. A, and this one was a shocker. Am I allowed to do these dad jokes?
You are. I love it. Hey, I love it.
Hey, somebody's gonna catch that.
You're gonna make me laugh. It's okay.
This guy,
you're gonna make me laugh.
Mr. Feltersnach, Howie Feltersnach.
Hey, he stayed up for us because we're doing our 9:30 p.m. Eastern draft. So this is our East Coast draft. So he didn't fall asleep on us tonight.
Look at him.
Shout out to
What
Howie.
A shocker.
What a shocker.
All right. Hey, let's check. Is he another one? I mean, I'm 50-50 pretty much at this point.
All right. Well, sorry, Howie, man. You missed the mark here for top dog. You're coming here with a B minus. To me, again, it's because just like we talked about with the color coding, I don't like that tight end early. Even again, if he's a wide receiver.
But you said if it was Kelsey.
But again, like I was going to say, even if we consider him a wide receiver one, I just like the makeup better with your team when you're taking two running backs and two quarterbacks with those first four picks, depending on whichever order that is. There's sometimes you can hammer out. Exactly. So again, they're not too bad, but again, I like those guys more as RB2s or RB3s. So
I like how you said that.
Yeah.
We had this discussion last week, like, hey, yeah, I like ETN as a fourth running back, not as a second and third. So like I just say that for the people that are listening that it doesn't make sense. Like, what? He just liked him? Like, yeah, I'll like somebody in the sixth round, but not in the fourth. So that's kind of where we're getting at with that.
Right. So, and that's what I mean. And then again, after that, I mean, it's solid. He comes McLaurin, Ayuk. I think that's fine. Darnold's fine as your, QB2. Again, I prefer him as my, QB3. Again, just like, in regards to the running backs. But again, you're going to see a constant theme because when you take that tight end early, it sets you behind at every other position. So
you know what I love?
That's what happens.
I love his love pick. Hey, coming off the board. Hey, we're going on fresh news, right? Today's Monday. So we know that Rodgers didn't show up to voluntary OTAs. I can't quote him. Packers saying they have no desire to trade. I'm like reading this. Hey, this is fresh off the board. My team is over here. They're telling me stats as we're going. But he did say sometimes they forget what builds a franchise. Something along that line. So, I mean, the hate's there. We know what he did last year because this man got drafted. He threw 45 touchdowns. You listen to Frank and myself, we've been saying that he's going to regress this year. So, I mean, Love is very reasonably going to be playing. It's like picking up the backup in Houston. That's not a bad play.
Yep. And the problem, again, is he hammered those three receivers in the 9th, 10th, and 11th instead of grabbing his QB3 there. So that's why he had to end up settling with the Love, which was the second to last quarterback off the board. The only one that went after that was Trubisky. And again, neither one of those guys are presumed, at least at this point, to be starting this year. So Love more than Trubisky, but
but you gotta love what he did.
He pulled a rabbit out of a hat. Hey, it's a shocker.
It is a shocker. Hey, Juju.
Return drafter.
Hey, JujuFruits. So
his second draft.
We got one A, one not. I mean,
so to me, he beats out Howie here. JujuFruits, shout out here. You kind of know just by the color coding that I'm kind of liking the team. But to me, he kind of settles in at a B. So again, not bad, but doesn't hit that A mark. So sorry about that, Juju. You're not in the running here for our little special here. But again, gets Kyler Murray. I love the three running backs and Dobbins, Sanders, and Hunt. Maybe not necessarily those running backs per se for me personally. But again, as far as just where he grabbed them, To me, I think where he goes wrong is not getting a quarterback here. You can see kind of the quarterbacks that do go in this round, as in Cousins and Trevor Lawrence. To me, I think if you do get Cousins in that spot instead of Godwin, that's a much better pick than Godwin. I think at that
Yeah.
point, because receivers are so deep, you can get
It opens it up. You get Julio,
right.
not knowing where he's going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's still some question marks there. But again, if you're okay with Tua, you think he's going to do good, in that point. But again, in a super flex lead, I'd rather, hedge my bet on a wide receiver versus one of my quarterbacks. So, I'd rather
I
have a
think he was so
surefire thing.
close. I
Right. So
agree
I'd
with you.
rather have
I
a
think you gave
surefire
a
thing
really good
there.
analogy right there. At
Right.
Godwin, I'm going
So
quarterback, and then I'm coming back with you can get when you get Michael Thomas, Julio Thielen. I mean, come on, that's
mhm.
it. You're still
Yeah,
getting a number one receiver.
yeah, any of those guys, even that went in the seventh round, Bobby Trees, Lockett, Deontay Johnson. I mean, those are good, solid guys that you'd be okay with.
Yeah,
Um, you
so
know,
close.
yeah. So again, so he comes in at a nice B, rounds it out. Mac Jones again, doesn't really do anything for me really there. Again, I'm glad he at least has, something there. But again, he may not even play this year. So we'll see. That bye week for New England made a big difference with Mac Jones. I was real huge on him as soon as schedule release came out and they have that late bye week. It doesn't look, that's usually when the team, makes a move.
Hating on my
So
boy Cam.
yeah,
Hating on
so
my boy
unless
Cam.
yeah, and I think no, I don't think it's hating. I think Cam's going to do well enough to where they're not going to want to change it over. If he has like a couple bad games and there's a week 6 bye week, they might just make the change. But because they have such a
True.
late bye week, he may play out of that and then be on a nice roll at the end of the year, and they're not going to switch out after their bye week at that point. So, and even still, even if they do it so late that you're going to get almost a full year out of him. He's your QB3, so he just has to cover your other guys' bye weeks, and then you're fine. So again, we talked too much about Cam on that, but
So
that's
he
where I'm at.
didn't make the cut.
Yeah, so he didn't make the cut, unfortunately. Sorry, Juju. But second
So right
draft, man,
now,
you got one more, and you get us 3 subscribers, and you'll qualify for the listener league. So come on with it.
all right, our boy returner. Is my man in the running for the $20 or no? He changes emblem. I love the guy for that. I want to give him an A+ just for that again. Last episode, then I'm gonna really just count on you.
Man, Wilson, you hear that? A+, dude. I guess that's like a golden buzzer. He wins it, right? But unfortunately, I had to give my man a B- here. Can we cue
Minus.
that? Right?
Yeah.
It's still not a
Sad
bad
empty
grade.
faces should be just going
Exactly,
across.
like right across the screen. No, Wilson. No, but for real, I think it's a great team. McCaffrey, Mixon, Diggs, Allen. I don't think you're going to argue with that. But again, just like I was telling the other people, when you're only starting 2 wide receivers, why get that third receiver, especially when you don't even have your first starting quarterback yet? So
Yeah.
again, that's just kind of basic, team building 101. Again, you don't have to go to quarterback to, running back like we say. Again, those 2 wide receivers can be your running back 1s and 2s, as far as the points that they're going to contribute to your team. Is how we kind of break that down. But for me, getting your wide receiver 3 before getting not only your running back 3, but before your quarterback 1, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So again, you're not going to, fall for an A with that, but because he's so top loaded in talent with those first 4 picks, any one of those guys can win you a week, on their own.
Yeah.
So, he arguably has, the 2 best wide receivers in the game in McCaffrey and Diggs. So, I mean,
Running backs for sure. Yeah.
yeah, you can't argue with that. So as far as the 0 QB strategy, besides that, 5th round pick, I think if he takes a quarterback there instead, he gets better value. And then to me, he has to get another quarterback 3 instead of Tyler Boyd, because now you're taking Tyler Boyd, because now you're again taking a wide receiver 4 when your 2 starting quarterbacks aren't even that solid. So then he has to end up settling here for a Taysom Hill, who may not even be starting. So in essence, he doesn't even have a quarterback 3 on this team. So unfortunately, that's what earned it the B-. But because again, that top, when you look at those first 4 picks, I can't say that's a C team. So
So guys,
it is.
We're tough, but we're fair. So
We're
what we're
fair.
saying, we're going to give you the tough grades here, whatever it's going to happen, but it's only going to make you better once you actually get into your drafts, once you get into our listener league, whatever league that you're in. This is stuff that's going to help you. It's just going to make you think. So we're not saying we're 100% always going to be right. Like if you look at the next team, another F, like he's just, hey, on a streak. Rastafarian is just effing everywhere. He's effing around. Now, hey, we don't want to. So when we do Anthony's drafts, when I draft, when Frank drafts, like we're kind of giving you the outline of what we're looking for. And I know Anthony's very honest, so he'll look at his team and he could give himself an honest grade too. Take the name off the jersey kind of thing. But we don't want to harp too much into this. We know what's on the line this episode. And if you want to real quick, would you give yourself a grade on this one?
No, I don't. I give up on grading my teams at this point. I just kind of overall want to say I wasn't really too happy with this team. I did get kind of caught up in the chat. I think I took Mike Davis a little early. I didn't kind of know who I wanted there in the 5th round. And again, I'm behind the mic here. I got a lot going on and, a lot of pressure sometimes. I'm just like you guys, man. Sometimes you make a wrong pick or you just take a guy because you feel like this is how I want to build my team. And I don't care what ADP is, and this is how I want my team built. And these are the guys I want. And like I said, I want Mike Davis as my RB3 this year. And to me, I think that's where you take an RB3. And so if he's the best RB3 that I felt that was still left on the board at that time, I'm going to take him. I liked him over Gaskins. I liked him over James Robinson. And I didn't want to just keep drafting Mostert all the time. So, normally that'd be Mostert's spot right there. But I went ahead and, get Mike Davis up in the fold, help his ADP stock rise.
Hey, but you got to love it. And that's the thing. It's like, we're super honest, even on our teams. We've talked like, hey, man, I blew that draft. Like, I don't like who I got. Sometimes you just feel confident in the players. And that's why we tend to go back to the color coding, which I hated to start with. But I mean, it is a point. Like, when you're doing this type of league, when you have a quarterback that could go into your flex, you want to be very careful on where you're picking these guys and where the drop-offs are and who's the most important people before they drop off. We know there's 4 running backs and then it's a second tier. We know that there's 5 or 6 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends. Like you get to understand these kind of things and you could put people in your rankings where you believe. We're just trying to give you that extra feedback. So enough about that. We don't mean to beat up on this F draft. We want to hop on because there's a lot more A's left. There might be a point where we can predict who's the A's running out. LuCamp, are we back up there? Are we passing classes? Well, C's get degrees, so.
Ding, ding, ding. LuCamp is in the running.
LuCamp is making the notebook?
He's making the notebook. Grab your handy dandy notebook there. Write it down.
You guys think I'm
take
kidding?
that thing out. Hey, there it is. And he's putting an A on there. So LuCamp coming out with a solid team. And, like we're talking about, to me, he hits just that formula kind of almost exact of what you want. So again, regardless of what you think about Jackson and Hurts, and I think, we were talking about this again in one of our last drafts, that Jackson and Hurts end up getting kind of matched up again with,
yeah, you're right.
Whoever drafts Jackson also drafts Hurts as their QB2. They just like that type of quarterback for whatever reason. So
for Stafford and Burrow and
right. So, he ends up, going that way. But then to me, he comes with solid running backs and Gibson, Carson, Gaskins. I think those are RB1, RB2, RB3. Comes with Thielen, Lockett, and Cup, 2 solid receivers with a 3rd solid, rotation guy there for backup. And then gets a nice tight end and Fant. Steals the draft with Fitzpatrick as his QB3. I know you're big at Pollard.
Steals a draft with Pollard.
Yeah, as your RB4. I mean, I think that's fantastic. And then you're backing up Fant with Gronk. And again, I'm usually not even a fan of 2 tight ends. And I think that's a fantastic pick because what else does he need? His team's already
deep in the right position.
Solid. Exactly. And then he just kind of almost has a throwaway pick. He can just kind of get away with almost anything here with Mike Williams. And, this guy's what, like 6'4", 6'5", or something like that. He's a tall guy, a huge, end zone presence. He's been hampered by injuries his first couple years, but they did re-sign him. They didn't sign any other wide receiver there, and they got to throw the ball, to somebody else besides Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. You know, they traded off Hunter Henry, so you'd have to think that he's going to get, you know, wide receiver, you know, 2 or 3, you know, type numbers, and he's getting that here in a 13th round. So that's an
Yeah.
A draft, man. That's what you're looking for.
All right. So now we know we're halfway through. 2 of your A's are out. We know there's 3 left and an A minus. Let's jump right into it. KingSaab.
KingSaab.
Is he in the running?
What do you think?
I'm giving it to him. I
Hey,
like his
he
pick.
is, man. Hey, an A. Write it down. Grab the notebook.
Okay.
So
KingSaab.
this is an A draft, man. Right here, in the middle of the draft, I think he executes the 7 spot almost to perfection with Barkley. He comes out with Akers after that, so he gets his 2 running backs. He gets Rodgers, like I said, regardless of where he plays. You know, as long as he plays, he's gonna, you know, be a QB1. Then takes Kittle. Again, usually I'm not even a fan of taking a tight end this high, but to me, that's almost like again your wide receiver 1 you're taking there. And then he comes with Cousins, so he's rounding out still his starting lineup. And then he gets Julio Jones and Deontay Johnson as his 2 starters, and then again
Yes.
DJ Chark as his wide receiver 3. I mean, to me, I'm happy with Chark as my wide receiver 2.
I
I
like
see
that.
what
And
you
you
mean.
know what we feel
Yeah.
about Deontay Johnson? So nobody got to hear this. Deontay Johnson, I would say AJ Brown were the 2 receivers that if you listen to our podcast back when we did it on Anchor,
Way back. Yeah.
hey, you probably heard about these guys every week last year. So
Yep. Yep.
you know we like
our
those picks.
triplets. Yeah. So, you know, their potential's there. And yeah, and then he rounds it out with Derek Carr, which again, as a QB3, I don't mind him. He's going to be throwing to Waller, so there's going to be some points
Yeah.
there. And then he comes with Moss, who I know you're big on. I think he's fine as a RB3 because with those 2 starters, you're not going to need to play that RB2 rotation matchup game. You know, those 2 RBs are set it and forget it as long as they don't get hurt. And again, Moss is behind a nice offense there. And he
Yeah.
could emerge as the leading back this year. So that's not bad to get a potential RB1 in the 10th round. Then takes a nice lotto ticket with Devonta Smith. You know, takes Hidbeat as a backup tight end, and then takes a flyer on Hilton. You know, we all say that's where the auto draft starts. And hey, if you're getting Hilton in the
Yes.
10th round, you know, that's fine.
Hey,
with
that's where it happened.
me.
I had no question about that. Calbeck. Not his first time on the show. Calbeck 24. Hey, he's back. I like it. Hey, I know, hey, it's easy for me to say that. I like it. Seems like he's been listening. He loses me with the Justin Fields second quarterback kind of pick, and I think you're the same way. Other than that, like, and I get why he did what he did. You got to get a second solid quarterback or you're going to be so far behind.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's like there's almost 2 of me in here now. Yeah, I think if he shores up that QB2 spot, he was definitely on the path for an A draft. But because of just his QB situation, I have to give him a B minus. You know, if Fields comes out, you know, again in a couple of months from now, and he ends up winning that job over Dalton, and Garoppolo ends up, you know, starting the whole year, then I'll take it back. You know, I'll say, hey, this was an A draft. But to me, that's there's so many question marks to me in regards to, you know, the 2 positions to me that are so crucial to your team, being your QB2 and your QB3, that I'm not going to hedge my bet in that position. You know, I'll do that with my wide receiver 2. You know, I'll do that with my wide receiver 3. You know,
Tight
that's
end.
where I'll take my risk. My tight end. You know, that's where I'm taking my risk. I'm not taking my risk in my running backs and my quarterbacks in the Superflex PPR.
Yeah, can't argue that. We won't beat you up. We're gonna see you again. We know you've had great drafts, and sometimes some that just don't really strike us. You know, riding around in a rover.
Riding in a rover.
Hey, he's back. Let me guess. Hey, I'm okay. I'm not a math wizard. Okay, I am. But we got 4 people left. Minimal amounts of A's left. minimal amount of people that have got in the random $20, we call it raffle? Prize pool?
Whatever you want to
Gambling?
call it.
Whatever's gonna get us the most trouble. I'm just kidding. Run it. Riding around on Rover. He's in it. Am I right?
So we got 4 teams left. We got 2 A's left.
And 1
right?
A minus.
And of those 2 A's, one's an A minus.
Okay.
Right. So one of these 4 people are in the running. All right. Rova, previous A+ drafter. So he knows what he's doing.
You built him up right now.
Which is why I gotta hold him to a high standard. When you come out with an A+ draft, I gotta hold you with the high standard, my guy. And it's almost like I don't know what's going on, but I had to come in, not even not make it. I got my guy here at a C.
No.
And let me tell you why, Rova.
Because you hate Josh Jacobs. 2 Raiders. He looks like a Raider fan for sure.
So wow. You got Dalvin Cook.
Uncanned, my favorite team in the draft.
Really?
My favorite team in the draft.
Well, maybe you can send him $5 consolation prize.
Not gonna happen. Hey,
sorry,
do
Robo.
Better.
Hey, Robo, I tried,
with my money. It's only $5. I'm like, whoa.
Hey, I tried for 5. He was giving out 20 for a grand prize. I was trying to get you a nice consolidation prize there.
Thank you. Now tell him why you didn't give him the $20.
Exactly. Now let me tell you why you didn't get the 20. So my guy came out here with 3 solid picks, obviously, right? He's following the mold perfectly, and then just loses me with the Jacobs picks, like you said. And then from there, just puts the team behind. Not only does he go with the Jacobs picks, then he doubles down tight and early strategy on top of that. And then he comes in with Cooper as his wide receiver 1, which isn't that bad. But the problem
isn't that bad?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just saying he's a wide receiver.
He's the number 1 receiver on the number 1 offensive team next year.
Right, but he's again taking his a wide receiver 1 when he doesn't even have a running back 2 yet.
Best draft.
Again, to me, you're behind the 8 ball. Once he gets to that pick, once he goes Jacobs and then a tight end right there, now you're almost behind 2 picks. To me, those are 2 wasted picks.
You're getting Waller.
Even if he's your wide receiver 1 and then you have Cooper as your wide receiver 2, now you got Sutton as your wide receiver 3. And that's not all that great. He makes up for it with Winston and Goff because he has the QB4s, which to me keeps it away from like a D draft. But again, you're looking at, Waller and Jacobs on the same team. And again, just no running back 2 even to be heard of, and then no running back 3, and a guy that he picks as his running back 4 that may not even see the field all year long. So
right around. You know what happened here? Great effing draft. You'd have been $20 richer if this guy wasn't around. If you unsubscribed, I totally understand at this point.
Sorry, Rova.
Tdizzlesizzle. I don't know why I couldn't say that. I'm sorry.
It's a tongue twister.
It's like, hey, when you look at it this, whatever. Hey, so it sounds like, I mean, odds. I'm a gambling man. I don't even want to try to say it again. Tdizzlesizzle is going to make it.
You think he made it? You think based on my standards, this is an A draft?
No, absolutely not. With Zach Wilson as the number 2 quarterback, there's no way Anthony puts you in the running.
And who's his number 3?
Yeah.
He doesn't have one, basically.
Tdizzle, we're not going to jump on your case. You already know where Anthony's going. We don't even have to break this down. It's not
C-, my guy.
Having Damian Harris as your number 2 running back. I'm going to predict I'll be Anthony for you. Just miss it. You miss A ball. You took Hawkinson too early. You're sitting right there and you don't even have a quarterback. You should have went quarterback where you went Hawkinson. Why are you going tight end right there? Even if it is a Trey Lance, Carson Wentz, hey, throw him in there. You get tight end way later. You got 2 tight ends on your team. I like you got a few running backs at the end there. Trubisky, who knows if he's going to play. C-. Stay tuned for our next show. That's how we're going to get better. So
Boom.
absolutely,
Boom.
Fantasy Top Gunner.
Fantasy Top Gun.
I thought it was Gunna. I can only see
No,
the
it's because
G. I'll be
last
honest.
time I had the A by his name because I gave him an A in the last draft. So when you read my notes, it said Top Gun.
You didn't back to back this guy, did you? Fantasy Top Gun?
I mean, he should just take. I want to say he changed his name. Actually, I don't think it's Top Gun. I think he changed it to like FF Top Gun or something like that now to kind of match his Twitter handle as well. Shout out there. But he is one of your finalists.
Okay,
The
so what's his
final
final name? So when I write this down, if he
top
wins, I shout him out.
Fantasy Top Gun. So
Top
Fantasy Top Gun comes in with the last A of the draft. I wish it would have been the
Whoa!
kind of the I wish it would have been the other way around, right? So that kind of lets us know.
I thought you had 6 A's and 1 A minus.
No, 6 A's and one of them was an A minus.
So Quinn is already out.
A minus is
We're
where he
jumping
was
the gun.
at, but we'll get to that. Yeah, so he's my A
Okay.
minus, unfortunately.
Wow, so this is my choice.
by
I'm sorry, I'm
power,
gonna be
by
busy.
yeah, so
You
power
break
of
down their teams.
elimination.
I'm gonna be busy because I
Yeah,
hate
so
all their teams. I'll be honest.
so there you go. So while you work on that, I'll tell you where Fantasy Top Gun comes in here, man. I think he comes in with the solid A draft. And that's interesting to me because he has actually Trey Lance as his quarterback, but Cam Newton. But I think again with Trey Lance actually being able to start after the Niners bye week and Cam Newton, how big you are on Cam Newton, that actually makes him his QB2 with Trey Lance as his QB3, even though he had to draft him in that order because of their value and their potential, and he knew he can get them in those spots. So I think that was just great team construction as far as that goes, which allowed him to have two fantastic running back ones in Taylor and Chubb, two bona fide RB1s, hands down. And then he
I
has
can't hate
two
on those guys.
bona fide wide receiver ones, two almost probably top 10 guys, or even you can argue top 5 wide receivers in AJ Brown and DK Metcalf. And
So
then,
why isn't he your A plus? Is what I don't get.
well, it's
You
not an
love
A
this
plus
team, and that
because
team
of the
is
quarterbacks.
solid.
Because of the quarterbacks with the rookie quarterback and Trevor Lawrence. And again, another rookie quarterback in Trey Lance, who may not even start the whole year. And even if he does, who knows what happens. And then Cam Newton, where he may or may not even win that job based on what's going on last year. And so, like I told you before,
respect the MVP, bro.
right? And
Former
so that's
MVP.
But I'm not disrespecting, which is why it's still an A draft, because I think based on the value, the perceived value of where he's at and where he got him, he nailed it. You know, his starting
All right,
lineup.
I feel we're gonna come back to him. We're gonna come back to him. Tell me why Quinn, St. Louis, STL, Phil. Tell me why he got your A minus.
Yeah, so this is our guy. You know, he's been connected with us on Twitter for a long time now. He was one of our original Twitter followers when we were first, getting going. He hasn't made it out to the, mock drafts,
Hey, Quinn.
yet. Yeah, so he changes his name a lot. Yeah, so he changes his name a lot. I think at one time he was the
Draft Mike Station.
Yeah, draft Mike Stration. He ended up getting him drafted. So shout out to him there. The connoisseur of Dynasty, 420 Dynasty, or 420 fantasy football
Connoisseur.
or something like that. Yeah, connoisseur. He has a lot of names there. He
Follow
goes
him
by.
if you haven't.
If you got it, yeah, get him on there. But to me, he comes in with an A minus, man. He has solid starters in Aaron Jones and Zeke. I know you love Big Joe. And then, I love Tannehill. So between those two quarterbacks, I can't say it. That's
big,
your
big
guy.
Joe, guys.
There
That's
it is,
big,
guys.
Big Joe.
Drop it. And then, my love for Tannehill this year. I think he's going to have a huge year. I think he's solid in receivers and DJ Moore and Michael Thomas. He got those actually flip flop. I think Michael Thomas is actually his wide receiver 1, with DJ Moore as wide receiver 2, and he actually got them, kind of flip flop value there.
Not that it matters,
right? And then he still gets Andrews, so you're still solid in those starters as far as again, draft value. Higgins, Cooks, Chenault, Solid, receivers behind him. He has the stack, with Burrow and Higgins there. And to me, the only reason why he's not in the qualifications is because we do not know what's going on with my boy Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson plays this year, or even if it's just suspended a couple games, he's gonna get an A or even an A+ in this draft and would have walked away with the $20. But because it's Watson, I can't hate on the rest of this team.
That's what trips me out.
So it goes from an A to an A-.
Hey,
And
he's also in my top 2, and he may not be number 2.
I'm sorry. Hey,
I
like
love
I
his
said,
team.
he was on an A. He was on an A+ trajectory, but I had to, again, I didn't know you were doing this little giveaway thing here. But to me,
No,
again,
but I wanted to keep
if
it honest.
if Frank was here, we already know what grade he's giving him with Deshaun on his team, right? He's not even counting it. It's a wasted pick.
But I think he might have
me,
pulled
I
it up.
have
He
to
may have
dock
been
him.
one of those that pulled a C from him.
Yeah, I had to dock him
All
that
right,
little
guys.
point, so he drops to the A-. So that's where we're at.
Hey, I actually like a lot of his picks. I like the Drake pick. Obviously, Cowboys go Jarwin. I like that pick too.
Yeah, Drake that late is great.
So my job,
And also, and he only has
hard.
the 3 running backs. That's the other thing I wanted to mention, is he only has the 3 running backs. I'd like to have a 4th running back instead of 2 tight ends. So again, if he grabs a Michael Carter down here instead of Cooks or something like that, or Cooks, he would have been better. So again, just
he may have had them on me.
Yeah, if he takes Michael Carter
in
there
between
instead of
Fantasy
Brandon
Top
Cooks,
Gun, Fantasy Top Gun, KingSaab, LuCamp, FF Season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep, those are the 4 A's that I had
out of
this
those
draft.
4?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I kind of said there was 2 other teams that I really liked. Obviously, we didn't get a chance. I sprung this on Anthony. Wanted to see who he had. You made it difficult for me.
That's a lot of pressure, but I threw it back on you.
I'm ready to break hearts. So, can I do it in order? I'm like, I'll tell you right now. FF season. I'm gonna break them all down again. So, love the Mahomes, love the Mayfield. Najee, I feel like that's pretty damn early for a Najee pick. I love Mostert, not huge on Ridley. So I'm really getting into guys because I could agree with Anthony how all you guys got a pretty good team. JujuFruits, I'm super big on Kyler Murray. Tua, I feel like you went really low on quarterback and Godwin. It's just one of those receivers. I feel like there's so many receivers over there, so I'm always critical of that. Claypool, there's a lot of receivers. I hate Juju. FF season, again, loved your team. Next on my list, we jumped a few. Sorry, guys. Again, hey, you got to get past Anthony. You want to get to me, you got to get past Anthony. LuCamp. So you give him an A. You do me. You know what I'm going to say about this team. What's my likes? What's my dislikes? What do you think?
Well, I know you love the Fant and Fitzpatrick pick. I'm going to start from the bottom, right? Because to me, that's where, you say where you win the draft, right? So we're not going to argue the top, right? The top 4 picks are almost kind of forced. If anybody was put in that situation, for the most part, ideally, you hope you get your first 4 picks, right? They should be, pretty straightforward. But moving down, if we start from the bottom to the top, it's kind of tough.
We call it toss-up.
Yeah, exactly. So the toss-up, I would have to assume, you like Gronk, here late. I know you love the Pollard pick down here. I know you love the Fitzpatrick pick down here. I'd say I know you love the Fant pick down here. I don't know how you necessarily feel too much about Cup. I think you could probably take him or leave him.
50-50.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I pretty much nailed that. You could take
if I get Cup, Woods is going to go off. If I get Woods, Cup is going to go off. They piss me off.
Right. So to me, that's your ideal wide receiver 3. I mean, that's exactly, if you had to describe what a wide receiver 3 is, I would say that's it. someone you can't start every week. You have to just kind of, play that game and see if you
You're
can get
almost
on the
gonna
right wave.
change my grade by doing this.
Hey,
Hey,
and
this
then
breakdown.
hey, this is what we do, guys. You're getting the extended deep look on this breakdown. We got $20 on the line this time, so we're gonna go a little extended version. So then we have Lockett and Thielen. I know you like Lockett. I know you say they're disrespected, on Lockett here. So I'd have to say you like that pick. I don't think you're that big on Thielen. I know you like Jefferson a lot more. I would have to assume you
You're
understand.
now.
Hey, I'd have to assume you understand there's going to be some regression with Thielen. The reason why he's up there so high is because of his touchdown output last year, which I think is going to definitely regress to the mean. So again, I don't necessarily like him as a wide receiver one, but as far as just his ADP and his value and the numbers that are there, it's still going to put him kind of in that range. I know you love the Gaskins pick. I know Carson's. You could probably take him or leave him. I think I'm a little higher on him than you are.
I love Carson.
You're gonna hate Hurts, and this is where it might break it because you don't like anybody on Philly. So I know you're not gonna look at that
You nailed it.
Objectively. So unfortunately, LuCamp, you might lose out on $20 because of some ridiculous, ridiculous thing you got going on with him here. So that's what it is. I know you love Gibson.
Hey, that's a horrible pick. Before
Right.
Rodgers, Stafford, Burrow, like
Right.
anywhere else, dude, you got $20 in your pocket right now, and I'm not even letting him finish the rest of the teams.
Exactly. And so I know you like Gibson and Jackson. I know you say, again, the only thing is you'd probably like Herbert or maybe even Wilson. Probably not Wilson as much, but definitely Herbert. Before Jackson, I think you have him.
Well said.
And
hey, you know too much. I don't even need to be on the show anymore. You honestly took it all from my mouth right there. Jalen Hurts could cost. Hey, that.
I'll see $20, LuCamp.
No, moving on. With. Hey, you nailed it, Anthony. I do have to say, like, I really don't need to be on the show. I just need to fill you in on what I think and send a couple memes. You know where I'm at.
We're brothers, man. This is how we're supposed to be.
I think I won't say it. I was going to call him KingSaab because King rocks. Hey, whatever. I'm not going to go there. KingSaab. What do you? Hey, I know you gave him an A. I like what he did. You kind of know. Okay, let's do it again. Break down.
Break it down.
What do you think I'm picking? I already have one circled.
To me, where I think
and I'm not gonna change my mind.
No, exactly. To me, where I think he loses you here is Derek Carr, because that's kind of where he loses me a bit. To me, I think if he takes Jameis Winston there, or probably even Newton or Goff, I would say in your mind, would have been a better selection there instead of Derek Carr. And again, that's just because we both hate the Raiders, number one, but number two, just the uncertainty behind the line.
Hey, I like the Raiders.
Oh, what? Okay, and see, that's why I hate the Cowboys. So anyway, we can't agree on anything. But
we both hate you guys. We don't fuck with the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are both. Yeah, you guys are both on that Niner hate together.
I like the Raiders.
I guess that works.
Yeah. I hate you guys.
Again, and I guess that's kind of the hint I should pick up. Taking Kittle that early might be the difference there on this team. So, and we all know you hate Rodgers as well too, and then just the uncertainty there with what's going on. But again, I can't argue with those running backs and that receiving core and with the bench. I mean, it's just, again, for taking a tight end early, I think this was the spot where he just nailed a tight end in the fourth. And again, whether that's Waller, Pitts, whoever it is at that point, moving forward, if you're going to take a tight end early, this is the way you put it together.
So I'll break this down.
But if you had Matt Ryan,
I like the Kittle pick right there, but I'm taking Matt Ryan right there.
I was going to say, yeah.
I'm not taking Kirk Cousins. I'll come around right there, and if I can pick up Darren Waller right there, I'm happy. Or if I can get, give me the Pitts, Noah Fant way later. Like, I'll take stuff like that. So that's my biggest thing on him. I like Deontay. I like a lot of his guys. Obviously, I would have went a little different at the very end.
The starting lineup
his team is nasty. So let's break it down. The last of the four. Top Gunna. What do you think? You think that's who you think I'm taking? Looking at, you can break his team down. Who do you think I'm taking now?
Top Gunna.
And I've tried to throw you guys off a few times.
Yeah, I know, Top Gunna. I think you're gonna miss out, man, on this Lance pick, man. I think, as much as I tried to swing, Cam Newton as your QB2, when I gave you that A, and the thought process behind that, what, Lance could potentially be in the playoffs, and again, I think if you're going to take a duo, that's almost a great duo to have, because of all those reasons I said, earlier in the show. But again, when it comes down to the $20, honestly, to me, what I think it's going to come down to on this team is that running back depth. Having Gordon as your RB3, I think, is okay. But having Gus Edwards as your RB4 is almost kind of nothing. I think Dustin would probably like to see a Zach Moss or even a Tony Pollard, a Michael Carter, a James Conner, even I don't know how he feels about Trey Sermon, but at least myself, I'd like to see one of those guys there who were all taken later than Gus Edwards, with J.K. Dobbins being the number one guy there, also behind Lamar Jackson. So essentially, you kind of have the RB3 for Baltimore. So to me, again, when we're nitpicking here, that's where I think where it's at. So that's my thoughts. Where are you leaning?
So who do you have? Who do you think's winning? Who do you think I'm taking?
Me,
after you breaking it down as me.
Yeah. So after breaking everything down again, to me, if I had to, break it in half and use my 50-50, I'd probably have to eliminate.
Poker face.
I'd have to say this. I'd have to eliminate Saab, and I'd have to eliminate Top Gun. And I think it's between Season and LuCamp, at least to me.
So we got he uses 50-50 lifeline. So I'm going to break it down. Obviously, I'm going to break some hearts. There was two guys that got that should be in the running that weren't. Again, that's just me. So I'll tell you my honest gut opinion. And one of you guys is going to hate me a lot right here. KingSaab, I had you circled as my guy that I thought you won the draft in the beginning. You did lose me. So I do want to say, and this is going to sound like hater, it kind of is. If I had to adopt any of these teams, I would be making changes on every team on here because that's just me, who I like, who I'm comfortable with, that sort of thing. A few of you guys were one pick away or one round away from winning it. And I don't want to put the $20 on a pedestal. After breaking down the team thoroughly, LuCamp, shoot me your Venmo, shoot me your Cash App. I really love your team. KingSaab, I will say you were very, very narrow second. Because I did this so random, I wanted to catch Anthony off guard. That'll be funny. So I do want to say I'll at least commit to 2 more. I'll commit to 100 YouTube subscribers, which we're pretty close. So if you guys can, let your people know. And I'd like to do more of these down the road. Like, we'll talk about that, but I like doing this kind of stuff. Second would be, I'm going to create, I'll say, it might be a while, but at least 500 Twitter followers. I think we're at like 250, something like that. So once we get there, I'll at least commit to $20 out of my own pocket for you guys. I'll try to do more random stuff like this. Anthony, I like catching you off guard. Funny that you had a 5-way tie for first place. Everybody's drafting really good, man. We just wanted to make it fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man.
So,
that was,
Ant, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Hey,
roll your sleeves down, guys. We caught you off guard. We're sorry about that. It's gonna happen. Spur of the moment kind of stuff. We appreciate all you guys drafting. A lot of you guys are getting I don't want to say a lot more solid teams. This one was hard. You could see me and Anthony had to pass it back a bunch of times. So it was fun. Catch you guys on the next episode.
Absolutely, man. A lot of fun, guys. Friday Night Mocks. It's where it's at, man. Tell your friends.